All right, folks, right now we're going to jump over to our man Tim Ord. You can reach Tim at his website, folks, ord-oracle.com. I got it right up here. He's got his past results on that website. Check that out, ord-oracle.com. And don't forget, folks, a couple of great webinars under the services tab as well. Tim Ord, good afternoon. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me on again. So everybody's kind of a little bearish here. Let's kind of look at the market, what's going on.
Please.
We got the charts up, right?
I'm going to pull them. Yes, we do, Tim. We're in action. I got them up. We're ready. Let's rock and roll.
All right. Anyhow, let me grab a pen here. Anyhow, we're into this support area right here. Previous support areas are back here. There was one back here you can see, but every time you go back, the reason why that's a support area, you had trend readings 1.16, 1.17. There's one at 1.46. Anyhow, you had a group of trend readings all in this vicinity right here, from here to here, and so that trend readings above 1.2 is an area where you get panic. And panic only forms in one place, and that is bottoms. So if you get a group of them, all of them basically in the same price range, that becomes a support area. And I did this chart earlier today. And if you notice, we're in that zone right now. We're kind of right a little bit above it right now, but we went back into that region, and that's the support area. So this area should be support, and it's the reason why I got a big arrow running up, going up from this area. So once a panic area develops, you go back into it, and you should get panic. And we did get panic. We didn't really get it today so far, but we had yesterday. We had 1.29 on the trend, or actually yesterday was 1.12. The day before 1.29. So the only trend readings you get around 1.2 or higher are in support areas, and support areas are where panic areas form. So anyhow, we had panic areas right above that area. We got into the region now, and so this should be a support area in a nutshell. Previous times this happened, right back here, we didn't quite get in it on that day, but we ran into it, then bounced off. And today we got into it. So anyhow, the uptrend's still intact. We're pulled back down to support. Mark was up 5 days in a row going into last Wednesday, I think it was. And normally you get 5 days in a row. The market will make a higher high within 5 days, 82% of the time. Well, this 5 day period is getting stretched out because we've been going down for about 6 days. Well, today is actually the 6th day from the previous high. So that indicator still works, but it's taking more days for it to rally out. So once you get 5 days up in a row, there's a high probability you're going to hit higher highs. Instead of 5 days, you might take 6 days. But anyhow, the whole thing's bullish. You're back into a panic area, so you're finding support. So let's kind of look at the bigger trend, what's going on. If you notice here, this is the highest volume day. This is a monthly chart, and you hit a new high. So far this month we have not touched a new high, and markets don't make highs on high volume. They always go up and get tested at least once, and the test is the key. If the market can make through that previous high, and if the volume falls back 10% or more on the test of a previous high, chances are that previous high is going to be resistance, and that's when you start getting a top. If you can tell back in here, this region, if you compare the volumes actually went down there, and that was a higher high, and you test the previous high on a higher volume. That's how you got the correction back going into the April low of this year. And so now we're going up. So far we're making higher highs and higher volume. That's the definition of an uptrend. So I expect this high here to be broken at some point, either this month or next month. I'm thinking we're probably making a low today. If not, well, actually not today. A lot of these lows come on Fridays, so I think if there's going to be a low, it's probably going to be tomorrow, or we go back down and test today's low. Don't know, but we're in a support area, and so I'm long. The market got along a little bit too quick. I should probably waited for the been a little bit more patient, I guess. But anyhow, I'm along the market, and I'm seeing everything I'm seeing is looking pretty good. So
Okay.
we can move on.
Yeah, let's do it.
You want to go to the gold market here?
Let's go to gold,
This,
please.
all right. This is a bullish percent index uh, for flash bullish percent index for the gold miners index flash GDX. So it's the ratio. This is a weekly time frame. And I put an RSI on it, and it's RSI 10, not 14. And anytime it gets below 25, we're at 20 right now. If you go back there, we're at 20.18 when I made this chart. And so it's a weekly time frame. So it gets you in the vicinity of the bottom. And I mark, this chart is a huge chart, goes back to the first signal came in 2010. So you don't get a lot of signals. You get, eyeballing it here, you get about one a year. We got one right now. And, all right, I'll hold.
Perfect. We hear the music, folks. We got gold right now, just under 4,000. We're going to come back and talk some gold with Tim Ward. We have the S&P's negative by 56, NASDAQ 100 off by 404. We're coming back, folks. Stay tuned. Welcome back, folks. S&P's off by 60, NASDAQ 100 off by 423. We got a little bit of selling today. We're on the line with our man Tim Ward. We talk to Tim every Tuesday and Thursday at 30 past the hour, folks. And don't forget, you can reach him at ord-oracle.com. And we archive every interview we do, folks. So this interview, if you missed the beginning of it, it's right on our YouTube channel. We archive all those interviews, and we're talking a little bit of gold. All right, Tim, please continue.
All right. So anyhow, this is the bullish percent index for the gold miners index. In other words, the measures the percent of stocks are on point and figure buy signals. That's what the bullish percent index measures. Then I do a slash GDX, and it works really well. It doesn't give a lot of signals, but the signals that it does give seem to be, well, actually it's 92% accurate. The only failure it had was back in 2013. All the other ones work pretty well, and we're on one right now. To get a signal, the RSI, the 10-period RSI on the weekly time frame, not the daily, so it takes a bigger swath of time. When the RSI gets below 25, we're at 20 right now. You're looking for an intermediate term rally. And how big a rally, some are really big, some are not. I think at a minimum we get back to the last high, which on GDX comes in around 84. That would be the minimum. We could flip sideways because we're probably due for a consolidation of a bigger degree. But anyhow, at a minimum, we should get back to the previous high of 84. So we're in a low area right now. So that's on the short term. So I'm thinking 84 will probably be reached, I don't know, next couple of months or whatever. It's not really a short-term signal, but, it could reach it in the next couple of weeks. I don't know. But anyhow, we're at a low area according to this indicator, and it's worked pretty well in the past. I want to look at the real big picture of what's going on, and I did a lot of different XAU, NDX. I had some other short-term indicators, but farthest I could go back was I think that's 1982. So it goes back far as I could. But anyhow, the top window is the monthly XAU. The middle window is the XAU to NDX, in other words, NASDAQ. This is a monthly chart, and it appears to have a 12-year cycle. So I put an RSI with it. So in uptrends, in other words, when this ratio is in an uptrend, the RSI in general stays above 50. When the ratio is in a downtrend, in general, the RSI stays below 50. And so anyhow, from looks like about 1989 to 2000, in general, this ratio went down. In other words, gold stocks were underperforming the NASDAQ stocks. And so you should be in the NASDAQ when this ratio is going higher, like from 2000 to 2012. In general, this ratio went higher. RSI in general stayed above 50. And that said, the XAU outperformed the NASDAQ. And from 2000 2012 to 2024, another 12-year cycle, this ratio went down for 12 years. In other words, saying NDX outperformed the XAU. Now, back in mid 2024, we finally got above, uh, the ratio got above 50, so showing that the XAU now is outperforming the NASDAQ. So the previous times had basically a 12-year cycle. So the 12-year cycle really started in 2024. That's when really gold stocks really started to outperform. So you add 12 years to that, you come out with 2036, 12 years from now. So we'll just have to see how that works out. But gold stocks, um, a lot of monthly charts have been signaled. We're due for a consolidation right now, and we may be at the bottom of that consolidation. We may flip sideways here for several months. But in general, I'm expecting the gold stocks probably to outperform for all the way into 2036. So we'll see how that works out. But on a bigger time frames, as long as this RSI right here stays above 50 in general, then gold stocks most likely will outperform the NASDAQ stocks, and that could happen over the next 12 years. So, it's kind of a big degree of what's going on. So on a bigger time frame, these gold stocks could be rocking right along. What to invest in? Here's some kind of signals I use. This is a monthly. I showed this chart in the past. It's updated to the current time frame, I think. It's RIO.TO is the symbol. In other words, it gave a buy signal. That what's on here is a monthly Bollinger Band, and that's pretty much it. You run everything off the Bollinger Band, and you have to have a sign of strength. In other words, big volume going through the mid Bollinger Band. Okay, if you notice back here, that did it right there. There's a mid Bollinger Band right here. So it closed above the mid Bollinger Band, and that's highest monthly volume, probably going back at least close to a year. We had the same thing happen. Looks like probably this is December right here. And it flipped through the Bollinger Band on huge volume, mid Bollinger Band. That gave the buy signal. And it has actually extremely good rally from 2024, and currently we're still doing good. Yeah, that's the big buy signals on the monthly time frames. So what's currently on a buy signal? So a lot of gold stocks have really took off to the upside. There's probably going to be a wave of the ones that are up 2, 3, 400%. They may take a rest, consolidate, and they may go back down and find other ones. Well, here's a monthly. This is a Walter Lee. I think I brought that up last time. Walter Lane, rather, Resources. It's a gold stocks closed above the mid Bollinger Band. If you can see how high this volume is compared going back to, looks like about a couple of years. So that's a gigantic swing through the mid Bollinger Band, sign of strength on huge volume. It's been backed off a little bit. Ideally, you like to see stay above the mid Bollinger Band. This one didn't. I own it. I don't see any big problem because this is a sign of strength off of a bottom, and sometimes they hold a Bollinger Band, sometimes they don't. But a lot of times, ones that do are usually a little bit stronger. You've been consolidating here. This is the second month of consolidation, but look what the volume does. It just drops out. So this is probably a initiation of an upswing. You got a consolidation on lighter volume, and what should happen next is another rise up. How high? It's hard to say. It could be weeks, could be years before it goes. Here's another one. This is West Haven Corp. I think I brought it up. Same idea. It's a monthly chart. I wanted to show you the last signal it got. This is basically back in 2017. Gave a buy. You can't see the volume very well, but that was a big increase in volume back then. Jumped above the mid Bollinger Band, fell back a little bit, and finally got going. The buy signal somewhere around probably 10 cents or thereabouts went to $1. So that's a 10 timer in a 2-year period. Now you got bigger volume. If you can see, you close above the mid Bollinger Band right there. So anyhow, this is the one to
I
look at.
appreciate the breakdown. Gold's been so strong, man, since September, as in it's at 4,000 when the dollar strengthened from 96 to almost 100 since that September area when it was at like 3,700. So I'm with you. It's been strong, even with the pullback. Tim, thanks so much, folks. Don't remember, check him out at his website, ord-oracle.com, ord-oracle.com, or under TFNN, those services as well. Tim, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you Tuesday, man.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
All right.